Welcome to Fantastic Vision. Please subscribe us before you watch today's video. On April 28, 2025, just after the Tokyo stock market opened, a piece of news exploded. The technology circle. Japan's old giant Canon suddenly cut its annual performance target, and the sales of lithography machines dropped sharply from 308 to 289. You know, this thing is a money printing machine for making chips. Selling one less means losing billions of yen. But who would have thought that it was Trump, who was far away on the other side of the Pacific Ocean, who forced Canon to cut off his own sword? This guy just imposed a perverted tariff of 145% on China at the beginning of the year, and also added a 10% toll to other countries. Canon CFO Minoru Tanaka sighed at the press conference. How can this be taxed? This is throwing a grenade into our rice bowl. After all, 30% of Canon's revenue depends on the US market, but the production lines are all in Japan, South Korea and Vietnam. Once the tariffs come, the cost will soar. The most ironic thing is that just a week ago, Canon just released its first quarter financial report. Revenue exceeded 1 trillion yen, lithography machines sold 7 more units, and digital camera sales rebounded. In the words of netizens, I saw him build a tall building, and I saw his building collapse. The speed of collapse is faster than Trump's tweets. This plot is comparable to the blood test in The Legend of Zhen Huan. The first foot is glorious, and the second foot is stabbed by the exchange rate assassin and the tariff stick. But the deeper drama is hidden in the details. Canon cut the target of lithography machines while raising the camera sales to 3 million units. Some analysts sneered. Is this to make chips with the left hand and take pictures of the scenery with the right hand, playing a left-right fight in the technology war? No wonder the Nikkei News complained. Canon's 2025 financial report is full of Japanese-style entanglements of wanting both and wanting more. Chapter 1: The Waterloo of the Lithography Machine. Back to the end of 2024, Trump waved his fist at a campaign rally in Iowa. We want to make Chinese chip factories extinct. Amid the cheers from the audience, no one noticed that in Canon's Osaka factory, engineer Yamada was staring at the 200th lithography machine that had just come off the production line. These precision instruments worth 500 million yen, about $3.5 million, were originally to be sent to China's Yangtze Memory, but now they are all piled up in the warehouse to collect dust because Trump's 145% tariff is equivalent to adding 350 million yen to each machine, which is more expensive than the machine itself. Isn't this forcing customers to switch to selling scrap metal? Yamada cursed while drinking sake in the izakaya. But the reality is even more cruel. In the first quarter of 2025, although Canon's lithography machine sales increased by 7 units year-on-year, the annual target was cut from 308 to 289. In the words of a Wall Street analyst, it's like you scored 60 points on the test, but set the next test target at 59 points. It's clear that you are afraid of the future. But Canon can't do it hard. The US market accounts for 45% of its lithography machine sales, but the production lines are all in Japan and Vietnam. Trump's tariff stick was waved, and Canon could only raise prices to fill the gap. As a result, customers turned to ASML of the Netherlands and Shanghai Microelectronics of China to place orders. Soto, a professor at the University of Tokyo, said, "This is not a technology war, but a cost strangulation war. The United States uses tariffs to put Canon in chains and force it to compete with its own companies." Chapter 2: The Renaissance of Cameras. Just when the lithography machine business was gloomy, Canon's camera department was opening champagne. In the first quarter, 530,000 digital cameras were sold, and the annual target was raised from 2.9 million to 3 million. In the flagship store in Ginza, Tokyo, Chinese tourist Ms. Wang bought 3 EOS R5 IIS in one go. It's convenient to take photos with a mobile phone now, But what we want is a sense of ritual. It's only high-end to post on WeChat moments with a full-frame watermark. This wave of retro trend saved Canon's life. After the epidemic, global tourism has exploded, and the #film feeling topic on Instagram has exceeded 10 billion views, forcing young people to pick up SLRs. Canon took the opportunity to launch the Inspur co-branded model, with the body printed with Haruki Murakami's novel quotes. The blogger of Zaira Hongshu directly called it a financial product for literary youth. But behind this scenery lies a hidden worry. No matter how popular the camera is, the profit margin is only 1/3 of that of the lithography machine. As netizens joked, Canon is now like raising a gold-eating beast and a fortune cat at the same time. The lithography machine eats gold bars and pulls out bills. The camera eats cat food and spits out gold coins. Chapter 3: The Backstab of the Japanese Yen. If tariffs are open guns, exchange rates are hidden arrows. In the first quarter of 2025, the yen suddenly soared from 150 to 144 against the dollar, and Canon's overseas revenue shrank by 4% in an instant. Xiaolin, the head of the finance department, wailed at the computer, "The dollars we earn are converted into yen, just like the fattest part of fresh Wagyu beef is cut off." What's even more amazing is that the US Department of Commerce added a knife, requiring Canon to prove that there are no Chinese parts in the lithography machine. A group of investigators rushed into the Vietnamese factory, holding a magnifying glass to look for the Made in China label, and finally found the logo of a factory in Suzhou on a capacitor, and immediately wrote a report and submitted it to the Pentagon. Mike, an advisor to the Ministry of Defense, said at the hearing, "These machines may have backdoors, and the Chinese will stop TSMC in minutes." Canon had to resort to a ruthless move, replacing Chinese suppliers with South Korea's Samsung overnight, and affixing "Zero China Parts" labels on the new lithography machine. But the cost increased by another 15%, forcing CEO Fujio Mitarai to slam the table at an internal meeting. "We are not making lithography machines, we are paying for Trump's tariff policy. Reconciliation or surrender?" At the earnings conference on April 24, 2025, Canon announced that it accepted the reality. The target for lithography machines was cut to 289 units, but the camera sales volume rushed to 3 million. CFO Minoru Tanaka smiled, "We are still growing." But anyone with a discerning eye can see that the 66.6% operating profit growth was all supported by layoffs, factory closures, and price increases. The most dramatic scene happened that night. Trump posted on Truth Social, "Canon is a great company, but they should move their factory to Texas." The accompanying picture was him wearing a mega hat, with a giant lithography machine photoshopped behind him. Japanese netizens were furious. "This old man wants to take the sheep home after fleecing them." On China's Weibo, a hot comment was topped the hot search. Canon's financial report tells us, "In the card table of the technology war, Japan is a sandwich being crushed by China and the United States in turn, and still squeezing out cream to say that it tastes good." Canon's experience is very similar to the dark forest law in The Three-Body Problem. When two superpowers confront each other with guns, the civilization in the middle can only crawl to survive. The lithography machine was originally the jewel in the crown of Japanese technology, but now it has become a hostage in the game between China and the United States. But the irony is that there is no winner in this technology hunger game. China is strangled by tariffs. American companies pay 35% more to buy lithography machines, and the profits of Japanese giants have shrunk by 8.5%. In the words of a Douyin blogger, "It's like three people playing landlord. Trump threw bombs, Canon was cannon fodder, and finally found out that it was their own living room that was blown up." Perhaps in the future history books, it will be written, "In the 2020s, humans used lithography machines to draw national boundaries in the digital age, and the scenery in the camera became the only pass to cross the border." When we take pictures of cherry blossoms in the Forbidden City with Canon and upload Douyin with iPhone in Times Square. Don't forget that the metadata of each photo contains half of the history of the rise and fall of globalization. So, next time you see a lithography machine, made in Vietnam, you might as well take a closer look. It contains the Japanese craftsman spirit, the American dream of hegemony, the Chinese ambition to break through, and the yawns of Vietnamese female workers at 3 in the morning. How can this be a machine? It is clearly the embodiment of human greed, anger, and ignorance.